Hey, what's up guys? John here. The dollar is in very, very big trouble. And my prediction is by 2025, we are going to see the dollar lose so much value. It's going to be mind-blowing. I personally believe we are seeing the biggest and greatest wealth transfer in human history happen before our eyes. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what's going on with verifiable proof so you can prepare for yourself and your family and get everything in line. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. YouTube's going to share this content to educate more people about what's really going on in finance. And if you help fixing your credit, you want to maybe potentially invest in some distressed real estate, or you really want to just scale up your business, you want to get access to money or any great credit to do it, especially in these uncertain times that we're stepping into. Take a look at what's going on in the auto market. You take a look at what's going on in the real estate market. There's more fear entering this economy than ever before. And for you to get financing, you're going to need exceptional credit. When you take a look at what's going on with the dollar right now, you're going to see exactly why you should be in hard assets and you should put that money to work rather than just letting it sit flat. Take a look at this. This article came out 6 years ago. At that time, a lot of people thought that this was crazy. It was never going to happen. No one really paid it much attention. But when you connect the dots and you see what's actually happening, it's very, very clear. So the U.S. dominance is over. We have a handful of global superpowers, nation states that will stage a comeback, right? Russia, China, Germany, India, Japan, and the US among them, right? This creating a BRICS reserve currency, a long-term project despite Russia's de-dollarization strategy. This is December 15th. December 15th, just a couple days ago. We look at this article here, new candidate countries for BRICS expansion. You look at all these new countries that are joining BRICS right now. It's really unbelievable how fast this is happening, and we're not really hearing much about it on the mainstream here. So if accepted, the new proposed BRICS members would create an entity with 30% GDP greater than the United States, over 50% of the global population, and in control of 60% of global gas reserves. So they're controlling the energy. Energy is money. They're controlling the energy. They have over half of the world's population and 30% greater GDP than the United States, right? Right now, it says concerning the BRICS expansion, Lavrov stated that Algeria, Argentina, and Iran had all applied when it was already known that Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Egypt, and Afghanistan are interested, right? This came out November 9th. This came out November 9th, 6 weeks ago, essentially. And already Egypt has joined BRICS. So this came out December 17th, so yesterday. So in the course of 5.5 weeks, 6 weeks, Egypt already joined BRICS. Afghanistan are interested in joining along with Indonesia, which is expected to make a formal application to join the upcoming G20 summit in Bali. Other likely contenders for membership include Kazakhstan, Nicaragua, Nigeria, Senegal, Thailand, UAE. All had their finance ministers present at the BRICS expansion dialogue meeting held in May. We can examine the basic economic data and the proposed new BRICS members as follows. GDP figures given are nominal. 2022 growth rates are based on the first 9 months of the year from data issued by the respective central banks. And what are central banks doing all over the world? They're de-dollarizing. They're buying tons and tons and tons of gold for a reason, right? For a reason. As we move forward here, it says Russia, Sri Lanka first to use the Indian rupee trade settlement mechanism. This also just came out. So this is happening so fast. It's unbelievable. China, Xi Jinping calls for oil trade in yuan at Gulf Summit. And this also just came out last week, the 10th. And America continues with sanctions. So as we start to push and push and push countries like Russia and other countries, even if they're not currently involved, what they are doing is they're paying attention closely to the amount of risk that they assume with the dollar being the #1 global reserve currency. And I know it sounds far-fetched that the dollar will eventually not be a reserve currency. I personally believe that is the direction that we are headed as the dollar really starts to lose a lot of authority. America is losing a lot of authority. And we look at what's going on right now with the US dollar. The US dollar over a 1-year period, you can start to see the decline. We peaked about a month ago, 2 months ago, and now we're slowly starting to come down on this decline. And we look at what I always find very fascinating here is when you look at what's going on with some of these countries, the actual layout here, as they begin to build out this superpower, we look at what's going on in America and the UK, a lot of these new energy policies that are going to be stepping forward that are going to have a tremendous impact on our economies. Tremendous. whether it be real estate upgrades to hit energy efficiency standards, whether it be we're moving into this really carbon-based system that's going to really have a really big impact, I believe, on small, medium-sized, and large businesses. And we look at what's going on right now in the UK. A lot of people don't know this, but landlords to be hit hard, as more than half of rental homes will fail installation targets. Half. And right now, the UK is already going through a lot of problems. New data shows that 56% of properties in the UK do not comply with energy efficiency standards set to come into law by 2025. So they're no longer going to be able to rent these properties out. More than half of all rental properties in the UK do not comply with new energy efficiency standards. This is also very true in New York City. I was just there a couple weeks ago. In Manhattan, nearly every single building had a grade on it, whether it was A, B, C, D, or F. And each grade they had to, if they were below a certain threshold, they had to do these very expensive upgrades on these properties. And they come into law in just 3 years, revealing a massive bill that is set to face landlords. New data shows that 56% of properties in the country do not have enough insulation to qualify for so-called EPC ratings, or C or above. Buildings are scored for the energy efficiency, getting a rating between A and G for the EPC system. A+ is the best score that a home can receive, showing that it is able to hold its heat better than other buildings. At the end of 2025, new government rules mean that any home rented out under a new contract needs to have a C rating or above. By 2028, all rentals will have to be up to that level. Data compiled for Landtech, a property data platform, showed that 57% of socially rented homes have an EPC rating of C or better, meaning that they meet the standard. But it still means that more than 4 in 10 homes rented out by councils will need to be upgrade their insulation, leaving cash-strapped council facing massive construction bills. France faces higher recession risk as German downturn eases. So we're starting to really get a really clear indication of what is happening. What I bet is going to happen is I believe we're witnessing this wealth transfer. It's transferring to the east. A lot of great jobs are going to be going to Egypt, India, to China, to Japan. A lot of opportunity is going to continue flowing there. And I personally believe that the world is going to get much, much more expensive for the West. As we start to see the dollar start to slip a little bit more and we see the U.S. get really questioned, I believe what's going to ultimately happen is going to get harder to make it here in America, and the opportunity is going to start flowing over there. What do you think about this entire situation? I mean, do you look at this situation and say, you know what, maybe this isn't actually going to happen. Maybe this whole situation is just going to, go away. Or do you think that this is going to continue to move forward? When I see headlines like this, American new sanction strategy, how the U.S. can stop the Russian war machine and strengthen the international war machine, right? International economic order, right? 5 ways sanctions are hitting Russia. U.S. hits Russia's oligarch. And they continue thinking that this is going to hit them. All this is going to do is going to convince them that they are more and more and more in the right to turn their back on the U.S. and to start to build that alliance. They've already been talking about this for many, many, many decades, but it's starting to become much, much more real, especially over the last couple of years. And as this begins, I personally think we're going to see a lot of opportunity. I think a lot of people all over the world are going to start investing in gold and silver and precious metals as stores of value. And they're going to do this because they simply won't know what to do. And gold and silver has been around 5,000 plus years. And I personally think a lot of old money is flowing to gold and silver. I even have a couple of crypto friends that always thought gold was a horrible investment, and now they're investing in gold, right? So I personally think we're going to see a lot of central banks, a lot of citizens, a lot of entities start to really store value in gold until they see what happens. I'm not saying this is going to happen today. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but I am saying it's going to happen probably in the next couple of years. We're going to start to see the dollar get punished more and more and more. And probably just like what they said, by 2030, which is in just a couple of years, we're going to start to see this play out. They said, same time, the role of the state is threatened by trends, including the rise of cities and the spread of online identities. This is what's going to happen. What do you think about it? Drop below, hit the like button, subscribe here, subscribe also on my second channel. If you need help fixing your credit, if you are, let's say, for example, you're in America and you're already struggling to make ends meet and you are putting a lot of your life expenses on a credit card, and credit cards are at all-time highs, which they are right now, the highest they've been since 1987, and you look at record high inflation, 20%, you look at everything. If you're putting all of your debts on top of a credit card and they're taking advantage of you with these high interest rates, if you have great credit, you're able to, in many cases, do a balance transfer those high interest credit card bills to a 0% interest credit card to allow you to pay down your debts faster and get ahead. Because I personally think sitting in a strong position over the next couple of years is going to be beneficial for everybody. If you need help fixing credit, you intend to invest in real estate, you need good credit to be able to get financing. We'd love to help you at GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. You can apply online for a free consultation, and Erica will give you a call and walk you through everything and teach you exactly how we work, see if it's a fit for you. LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok up in the banner, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.